And I'll have Matt do the land acknowledgement.
Thank you. We would like to acknowledge that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Ktunaxa, Sinites, Syilx, and Sinites people, and is home to the Métis and many diverse Aboriginal persons. We honor their connection to the land and rivers and respect the importance of the environment to our strength as a community.
Thank you, Matt. So you have the agenda in front of you, and the first item is the consent agenda. And in that, we had the agenda, we have the minutes of the September meeting, an action list, and then some correspondence and information stuff. So I hope you've all had an opportunity to look at that. And if you have, then we can pass. I need a mover and a seconder that the police board accepts the consent agenda as presented. Mover. All right, seconder, Jane. All in favor? Thank you. The next item is the police board manual. I think that's being updated. So are you going to speak to that, Shiloh?
I can. There's a page, well, you'll see that one section that I need to have wording. I heard back from Surrey and Transit. I don't have it in front of me, unfortunately. So if that's wording you like in terms of remote or virtual access, approval.
Well, I think we would leave it, once you've heard back, if it fits the manuals of other boards, then that would be okay, I think. I don't know. How do you feel about it? It's at this stage, it's just little tweaking of the manual, right?
Yeah.
So we don't want, a big discussion, I don't think.
Style restricted and non-restricted. The decision was to develop a firearms compensation program, and that's what's kind of gone on. In BC, we have 28,000 of these type of banned firearms, and the program that's the goal, to get these firearms into some type of amnesty. So there's an amnesty order that's going to be in effect until October 30th, 2025. And the launch of this buyback program is going to be April or May of next year. This year coming up, but it all depends on government and funding and whatnot. So that's just a little background in regards to that. And then the other thing that was brought up was the JIBC recruit training model, going from the current model 3x64 to 3x96. I know I talked about it again in regards to cost and funding. The bottom line is that there's going to be an increase in costing per recruit from 51,556 to 52,744. There is a model that's going to be proposed to the government in regards to obtaining some type of funding assistance. So we don't know if there's going to be an increase in our cost at all at this point. In relation to patrol, busy summer. months. Once again, last month we had 697 calls for the month. Patrol priorities included school zone enforcement between the hours of 8:15 and 9 and 2:15 and 3:30. Baker Street Foot Patrol, fire members, as well as traffic enforcement at Lions Park continued. General investigation, still doing property and personal related crime investigations. And dispatch, we're still recruiting for relief dispatchers. And we conducted one interview last month. Restorative Justice, Barbara Vincent's still taking over the program, still working on a relaunch. She's met with one of the volunteers and still focusing on meeting with the other 3 volunteers that are in the program. Victim Services has developed a proposal for break and enter program. The program addresses break and enters in residence and commercial break and enters. And it's about as well as safety and theft from vehicles, and it's all from a victim's perspective. The program aims to ensure that every victim of these crimes receives immediate support from victim services, including emotional and practical assistance. And then the last thing is the community safety officer. The community safety officer, Stoke, has been very proactive and visible in the community. And she's been working on a new initiative. It's going to be the first ever Nelson Police Department Youth Police Program, a police academy, and this will commence in November, for 4 weekends in November. And that's really it. Nothing else.
There's a written report attached to the package that was added just more recently. So it's a pretty thorough report here. So do you have any questions? Concerns? All right. And I move that the Nelson Police Board receives and accepts the deputy's report as presented. I need a mover. Matt, seconder, Eric, all in favor? Yes. The next item is director's reports. Do any of you have any reports? If you don't, I'll just go on to the BC Association of Police Boards report because I am your rep, so I step out of the chair to just report. What we did was I had just come back from a long trip, so I was pretty jet lagged at that meeting. But fortunately, the minutes, draft minutes came out, so I just would refer you to look at the minutes. And quite often, a lot of the items don't impact us, but what is really useful is that there are a couple of updates done. One from the deputy chief who comes from the Chiefs Association, and also Katie from the ministry. They're present at that meeting to update. So I just refer you to the minutes so you can get updated. It happened on the 20th of September. Any new business or late items? Oh, welcome, Christine. Hello, can you hear us?
Hi, yes, I can hear you. I hope you can hear and see me, but I still can't see you, but that's okay. I can hear you.
Okay, we can hear you and see you, so just put your hand up if you have any questions. But we're at the end of the regular meeting, and then we'll be going to the camera. Okay, so
Thank you.
if there's no any new business, then we just need to move to adjourn the meeting. Mover, Eric? All in favor? Great. So there was nothing too exciting in our agenda. If there's anything you
Very
need.
exciting.
Thank you for coming.
Chief, can I borrow Raj just for a minute?
Sure.